Good morning. We've had kind of a rough night. We were up all night with my daughter, A, who is sick. I thought we were coming out of it, but apparently not. So we will not be going to our homeschool co-op today. I have just picked up every packet of clearing eucalyptus bath foam salt for her, and it's just been a long night. So I'm at the grocery store before my husband goes to work to pick up a couple of things, and then I get to go home and hopefully get some sleep for myself. She finally fell asleep adorably, wrapped around a pillow and kind of propped up so I think she could breathe, but she has a terrible cold. So I'm gonna go find some tissues for her that are lotiony and nice to help her nose. Poor thing is just all chapped everywhere. It's gonna be a long day. Before I lose all of the light in our house because it's quite dreary outside, I wanted to show you this weaving, this loom that I have sitting up in my bedroom. It's made out of a picture frame that I had that broke and wasn't usable as a picture frame anymore without me repairing it, but it just sat in the basement. And so I nailed nails into the top and bottom of it. And for a long time, I actually had worked it and left it downstairs, and the kids would just kind of weave on it whenever they wanted to. But I've since bought a nicer loom for me, but now they can use that. And now I've moved it up to my room because it kind of fits in here, and I worked it, and I have been putting yarns on from places I've traveled that I've gotten from, or I eventually want to do some of the sheep that I have done from sheep to a yarn. So what I have on here right now is from our travels last year, and I want to add more probably when we get back from Iceland. I'll add some more Icelandic yarn, but I have some yarn that I got at Rhinebeck that I want to add in, and some from the New England Fiber Festival, and some from a couple of sheep that I have worked on their stuff. So down here is a yarn that I got in Denmark, and I don't know what type of yarn it is or really anything about it other than I got it in a yarn store in Denmark, and it was kind of a little bit before I paid attention to brands and where things came from. They told me it was a local wool in the store. Other than it being wool, I don't really know much more about it. Then I got this green from Norway at a Viking festival. It was hand dyed by a woman selling yarn at the Viking festival. She didn't understand English very well, and so I was having a harder time communicating with her to see if this was from Norway or if it was from somewhere else, but it was dyed by her. This is Letlopi from Iceland that I got in the airport of all places, but we were at a stop over there. We went and did a bus tour of Reykjavik, and when we got back I realized I hadn't bought any yarn and I wanted some, and I saw some in the airport, and so I just bought a couple of balls of Letlopi natural colored yarn, and that is what is on my loom that sits up in our bedroom all the time, and I'm hoping to fill it with my travels. All right, stuff is laid out, ready for me to start packing for our trip. finished my cowl tonight. It is Classy Squid Fibers bat that I bought at the New England Fiber Festival, and it is beautiful mixed with this black alpaca. The other side is just as lovely. I don't know which way I'm gonna wear it yet. I love that this side really highlights this purple and the sparkle and the yarn that I spun up, but I do like the black with it peeking through. I feel like that's very stunning, but I'm excited to wear it. All right, I have just washed this baby sweater and I've laid it out on my couch. I don't think I'm even gonna need to pin it. I think it's gonna stay just fine. Try not to stretch it too much, but it's so hard not to fiddle with your knitting while you're blocking it, right? But I think it's gonna stay nicely put down. I really like the poof sleeve shaping on this. I'll talk about it more in my podcast tomorrow. I'll talk about the whole thing, but it's blocking. And I'm leaving it on my couch. And see, my couches are horrible pieces of junk. In fact, when we moved into this house, the couches were sitting in the carport, rejected by Goodwill. And we didn't have couches, so we just moved them back in the house. It's like 8 years ago. And the kids have slowly been working to like destroy our couch since, but we can't really. First of all, these are incredibly comfortable. They're nice and deep and they just hug your body with their pillows and they're so comfortable. But second of all, we have kids that will destroy any new furniture, so we might as well just continue to use this out until they're kind of out of the stage of jumping on things. And my daughter is definitely still a furniture jumper. All right, I'm going to call it a night tonight. It is midnight now. So I actually have one more load of laundry that I'm gonna go grab and fold and pull things out that we're taking with us on our trip, and then put one more load in, let it stay overnight, and then in the morning I'll switch it out and hopefully I can get all our laundry washed and cleaned and ready to go before we leave Sunday night. I have plenty of time. I'm not a packer that packs early. I usually pack the night before. So I'm gonna go get that done. Have a good night.